So I was thinking about this the other day. Why has the Vikings in recent memory just struggled with offensive line? Is it the curse of Matt Kalil? I think it really might be, because you look at some of the Vikings O-lines from back in the day. I mean, you look at Todd Stussy and Randall McDaniel and Jeff Christie and David Dixon and Corey Stringer, rest in peace. I mean, those are some pretty decent offensive lines. Those are pretty solid, right? And you look at even more recent memory, you look at the Phil Lodeholtz, you look at the Bryant McKinneys and Steve Hutchinsons, Anthony Herrera's, Matt Burks. That was a damn good offensive line. Throw John Sullivan in there as well. But it seemed to just take a full-on turning point in 2012. So Vikings coming off a not-so-great season. Number 3 overall pick. Trade down to 4. Get an extra draft pick. Tricking the Browns to come up for Trent Richardson. And then they end up with Matt Kalil. It's like, oh, this is the best left tackle prospect in a decade. This is the best pro-ready guy. Set it and forget it. Ron Popeil style. And he's going to be the next Anthony Munoz, and he'll just waltz right into the Hall of Fame. Right? And it wasn't a great tackle class that year, because remember, the second tackle off the board was Riley Reif to the Lions in the late first round. But, yeah, whatever. And, of course, Matt Kalil, he was a stud his rookie year. He was really good. And then he just remembered, oh, yeah, I don't like football. And plus now I'm injured. So now, hopes down the drain. Right? And remember before that, they thought that Charlie Johnson could play left tackle. They're like, hey, this is a great idea. Well, he must be good because he played left tackle for the Colts and Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl. No, not so much. But you look at the Vikings have just really had bad luck with offensive line. And also, Spielman ignores the offensive line. It is true there to a degree. But you look at some of the seasons where, all right, they're going to duct tape up Phil Lodeholtz. Oh, wait, he has an Achilles. Oh, wait, they're going to do this up with John Sullivan. Oh, wait, he has a back injury, so he is cut. Oh, wait, he has a career resurgence there in the late seasons with the Rams. Great. Yeah, whatever. And the fact that your most value free agent signee over the past half decade on the offensive line was Joe Berger. And the fact that he comes in, you can make a really good case that Joe Berger has been the Vikings' best offensive lineman for the last decade. You really can, and you can't really fault him, right? And you look at some of the big free agent numbers that they've thrown out there. I mean, massive contract for Riley Reif, he's been okay. Massive contract for Mike Remmers, not so much. Massive contract for Alex Boone, absolutely not so much. But the Vikings' offensive line has been bad basically the entire Zimmer tenure, which is something that you do feel bad about for Zimmer. You talk about how Zimmer's been dealt a relatively bad hand the entire time here with the Vikings, and he's succeeded. He's been to the playoffs 3 times, won 2 division titles, all that stuff. I mean, his franchise quarterback, the guy that he was tethered to, his leg fell off. Of course, he had the medical eye issues with Zimmer. You have a number of things that are going wrong, both in injuries and both in contract busts, and also he's never had a good offensive line. Like, you look at Teddy's O-line 2014, 2015, they were terrible. Actually, he was pressured at a higher rate than Kirk Cousins was, even though everything about Kirk Cousins always goes back to offensive line. I don't remember anyone complaining about, well, Teddy would be great except for the offensive line. Bradford would be great except for the offensive line. Keenum would be great for the offensive line, even though all 3 of them have a higher pressure rate than Kirk Cousins, even though that is the first thing that is talked about with Kirk Cousins. Like, oh, Kirk Cousins would be great except for the offensive line. So all of a sudden the O-line is the bugaboo. So you're telling me all of a sudden that Teddy Bridgewater having the corpse of Matt Kalil as his left tackle, that's a bad thing? That's bad? You would have a better offensive line early now, right? Yeah, and you look through, Pat Elflein's been a bust, but I think the Vikings are slowly but surely starting to get it right. I mean, they're just pulling out of this tailspin that has been a terrible offensive line play, because Brian O'Neill, well, it's hard to give them credit for Brian O'Neill, because I think they got stone-ass lucky to get him at 62 back in 2018. So remember, Mike Hughes at 30, I still think that was the best. I still agree with the pick. I think he was certainly BPA at that point for them. But then was the run on offensive linemen. Then it was like the Will Hernandez, the Austin Corbetts, the James Daniels, the Connor Williams, all this entire strata of solid offensive line prospects they go. And Brian O'Neill was like the Alamo at 62. Like, he was the only one left over. He was like the last, if you go through like a buffet of like chicken wings, and this was the weird one with like, a little hinge off the side, is like, oh, this is clearly a broken arm or a broken wing from that chicken. Sorry, bro. But then he turned out to be great. He turned out to be NFL ready, even though he didn't have NFL size, and he was changing positions, even though he played some right tackle at Pitt back in the day. And he's becoming one of the best right tackles in the league. Sure, you can give them credit for scouting and actually take them at 62, but that's just the way the cookie crumbled. Like, you're telling me that if Connor Williams and Brian O'Neill had been on the board, that they would have gone Brian O'Neill. I think they would have gone Connor Williams. Actually, I have it on relatively good authority that if Connor Williams got by the Cowboys at 50, the Vikings would trade up to 51 to take Connor Williams. So I think they got stone-ass lucky there. But also, I like that they had the cojones to take Garrett Bradbury at 18 overall. It's like, you're taking a center at 18? Yeah, damn straight. And I do believe in the future of Garrett Bradbury. And also, it was nice that Josh Klein had a relatively good season last year, a couple injuries, but he's living up to his free agent deal so far. So now, all right, so the Vikings are chilling. Are they going to stamp out Riley Reif? Will they grab a tackle from this historically good tackle class? At least, please grab one of the top 5 tackles. Please, one time. Or you can say top 6. Throw Jackson there as well. Do that up. Or, just go all in on left guard. Can we please just spend the money, get Joe Thuney, cut Xavier Rhodes, throw that money at Joe Thuney? Can we do that one time? Or at least draft one of these guards, Jonah Jackson, Nathaniel Moody, whatever? Nah, but I don't know. Just had to vent right there. The raw, real rant. We need to bring it back. But why the Vikings have struggles on the line, I don't know. Let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo. Please give us a follow on social media as well. Until next time. Skol. Production value.